Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ranjeeta Soni. Today I will discuss about the topic biodiversity. Biodiversity means biological diversity. That means the varieties of various kinds of animals, plants, or we can say the biological components. In biodiversity, we can discuss about the varieties of plants, varieties of animals, varieties of various kinds of biological components including human beings also. Basically, the term biological diversity firstly proposed by Walter and Roses in 1985 by Walter and Roses, and basically this term comprises various kinds of variations as per the availability of plants and animals which are available on earth. Right now we have investigated various kinds of plant species, around 75,000 plant species. Still we have searched or investigate about their classification basis, and around more than 75,000 species still we have searched of animals. So basically the life of earth based on biodiversity. And basically if we talk about the various types and the levels of biodiversity, they are based on genetic basis, various kinds of species basis, and community basis. So if we talk about firstly, if we talk about the genetic diversity, which based are totally on genes diversity. Genes is the first unit of diversity in any kind of living organisms. So the various types of genes and their combinations generate the different kinds of variations in biological components. If we see about the various kinds of animals, like on the basis of their genes, we can just find out the various types of hair colors, skin tones, then eye colors, and so on. Similarly, if we talk about in plant categories, lot of varieties of rice and lot of varieties of wheat are found, and the varieties are basically different as per the availability of their genes which can receive from their parental organisms. So similarly, if we talk about the types of biodiversity as per their species level, so this is the species biodiversity, and this is basically depends on the organisms relationships between the different kinds of species level. If we talk about the family of citrus fruit, so we can just found so many kinds of examples in this family, same family, like orange, lemon, malta. Usually they are all belongs from a same family, citrus family. So here the basically difference between in various kinds of species. Like another type of biodiversity type, which is community or ecosystem biodiversity. It basically relates with the whole type of habitat or whole type of house as per their various kinds of abiotic and biotic components levels. So this is a kind of ecosystem biodiversity. Like if we just want to differentiate between the forest ecosystem and the desert ecosystem, there are the different kinds of both of the ecosystem, because there are different kind of abiotic components, different types of biotic components. So they are all are different type of ecosystems. So these are the different types of biodiversity. Now here we can see the various types of forest types, like temperate rainforest, which are found in lower temperature regions, and specifically rainforests are found in rainy areas, and tropical rainforests are found in high temperature regions. So basically both are the different ecosystems. If we talk about the various types of levels, they are found as per their availability, like alpha diversity, beta diversity, and gamma biodiversity. So if we talk about the alpha diversity, it relates with the endemic type of species, which are locally found species in a particular region. Like if we talk about the khejdi species, which are the local species of Rajasthan. So this is a good example of alpha diversity. Now if we talk about the beta diversity, it relates basically the two different type of ecosystem, the unique biodiversity. It shows the unique biodiversity in between two different ecosystems. Like if we compare two different ecosystems, the unique biodiversity which are found in both of the ecosystem, comparative ecosystems. This is the beta biodiversity. And if we talk about the gamma biodiversity, it relates basically universally available species on earth. Like if any species which are found in polar areas or in temperate regions, so this species also will found in tropical areas also. So in any areas it can be found easily, so that it relates the gamma biodiversity. Now here we can see the various types of species, that means species richness biodiversity. Again, this is the example of genetic biodiversity. Here we can see the examples of genetically different species. Now biodiversity is very important for us because its values relates our economy, its values relates our ecology and also ethically. So when we talk about the economically values of biodiversity, whether it is related with the plants or whether it relates with the animals, examples like food. We are totally based, dependent on our food, on plants and animals also, as per the vegetarian and non-vegetarians. So foods we can get from the biodiversity, drugs and medicines we can obtain from both of the examples, plants also and animals also. Fuels we can use various kinds of fuel wood or fossil fuels we are using from the biodiversity. There are so many kinds of social values. Ethically we can worship the tulsi, then avla, banyan tree, people. So they are aesthetically valuable for us. Now direct economically value, if we talk about the direct economically values of plants and animals, so we can obtain the various types of sources. We can say miscellaneous sources from the plants and animals. Like if we talk about the plants, we can get not only the food like vegetable fruits, cereals, pulses, condiments and fibers, flosses, other than food material, fiber, flosses, gum, resin, cotton, then another kinds of like medicinal plants we can get from the various type of species. Similarly, if we talk about the animals, we can obtain like milk, then meat, their fur, their skin, their medicines. That means these are the examples of various miscellaneous products which can obtain from the plants and animals both. So we can just give the example related with the economic values of these. Now other than their values, plants and animals both are valuable, like they can maintain the soil fertility as per the microorganisms are available, and plants can maintain the groundwater table, then humidity in soil, so it depends on the productivity. Then they maintain the soil quality, air quality, water quality also. They can maintain the ecological balance, pest control, pollination processes, seed dispersal, because there are so many types of moths which are helpful for pollination processes and seed dispersal also. So as apart from the medicines and other economical use, ecologically they are valuable for us. We can see the various type of examples. Now if we talk about one term which is relate the hotspots of biodiversity. So hotspots means those areas which are related with the richest or highest or dense biodiversity. They are the hotspots areas of biodiversity. So in this figure you can see in which area which are marked from red color are richest area from the biodiversity. And basically Western Ghats and Sri Lanka areas, Eastern Himalayas, they are basically hotspot regions of the area. These are the Indo-Burma. Basically its earlier name is Eastern Himalayas. So basically these hotspots covering less than 2% of world's land area, and basically they have covered 50% of the terrestrial biodiversity. That means the lowest area which covered the largest biodiversity. Now we know about the threats of biodiversity. we are just losing our biodiversity day by day. There are so many kinds of example. So the one question is, think about it, what is the reason behind the loss of biodiversity? Why the biodiversity are important for us? So as per the reasons like medicinal reasons, agricultural reasons, commercial, ecological, aesthetical, there are other reasons like agricultural, we are used the various kinds of species for the population food, or basically include corn, rice, wheat, and nowadays we are using millets also. Now loss of biodiversity in basically it affects the productivity or production, which can affect the nutrition causes. Now commercially we are using and we are losing the various types of animals due to their products, like we are hunting and poaching commercially tiger for their skin, for their trophies, and for their sperm oils and their nails. Similarly, if we talk about the rhinoceros, we are using the rhinoceros for the bulletproof jackets or some weapons also. We are using their horns, their skin bulletproof for bulletproof jackets, and deer we are using for the making perfumes from the basically they are prepared by their musk. So as per their commercial level, we are just harming our animals. So it is very harmful, it is not good for the biodiversity. Ecologically, we are just seeing the loss of various types of environmental issues. We are facing a lot of problems related environment, and aesthetically we are facing all these things. Like as we are talk about the threats of biodiversity, so it directly relates the extinction of animals. If we are using day by day their sources, so drastically they will be reduced as per their number. यदि आप लास्ट के कुछ न्यूज़ में देखेंगे तो आपको लगेगा कि कितने सारे एनिमल्स जो हैं वो डे बाय डे उनका नंबर डिक्लाइन होता चला जा रहा है, चाहे वो टाइगर्स के लिए है या वो एलिफेंट्स के लिए है, राइनोसेरोस के लिए है. तो एक कंडीशन ऐसी आएगी कि हम उनके रिसोर्सेज का इतना यूज़ करेंगे कि वो अल्टीमेटली एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाएंगे. वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ प्रीवियस एग्जाम्पल्स इन रेड डेटा बुक वेयर वी हैव लॉस्ट द एनिमल्स totally. So habitat loss, then degradation, there are various types of uses, fragmentation. There are a lot of reasons where we are losing our biodiversity, we are just declining our biodiversity. And basically if we see the data as per the IUCN, globally level we are reducing the lot of species from our earth as per our uses. Basically poaching is a major reasons, but nowadays we are banning, we are not using legally these kinds of things, but as we know illegally lot of things are still doing. So we have to control, we should control. हमें ये सब चीज़ें रोकना बहुत ज़रूरी है. यदि हम इसको नहीं रोकेंगे तो हम एनिमल्स को सेव नहीं कर पाएंगे, और जितने रिसोर्सेज हमें चाहिए उन रिसोर्सेज को हम विदाउट एनिमल किल करें, उनको यूज़ करें, तभी हम उनको यूज़ कर पाएंगे, अदरवाइज वो एनिमल किल होगा. फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक एलिफेंट आइवरी यूज़ किया जाता है, वो हाथी दांत के लिए. यदि हम पूरे हाथी को किल कर देंगे तो हमारे पास उनका नंबर डेफिनेटली डिक्लाइन होगा. सो इट शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट द एनिमल सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी. Then various types of conflicts also. Sometimes natural reasons are also responsible for the biodiversity reduction, like forest fires. यदि forest fire है और जहाँ पर rich biodiversity है, उन reasons को हमें बहुत safety and security से रखना ज़रूरी है, so that we can protect our overall biodiversity from the forest areas. Now when we talk about the conservation of biodiversity, apart from the stop poaching, hunting, and safety and precautions for the animals, we can adopt some conservation methods or technologies for the overall biodiversity conservation. So technically it can be two types, in situ conservation and ex situ conservation, and both type of conservations can conserve or protect the biodiversity for a long time. Like if we use the in situ conservation, that means in situ means the on-site conservation, where basically we can just conserve the species or biodiversity as per their habitat area. Like यदि वो अपने जिस नेचुरल हैबिटेट में हैं, हम उसी हैबिटेट में उनको कंजर्वेशन प्रोवाइड करें. वी कैन जस्ट मेंटेन आवर नेशनल पार्क्स our wildlife sanctuaries, biological reserves areas, bioreserves areas, biosphere reserves basically known as. Then tiger reserves we can maintain. We can maintain the sacred groves. Sacred groves, if we are using a tree guard for safety of particular kind of plant or tree, like if we see in a temple area जहाँ मंदिर में एक पीपल का पेड़ है और हमने एक सीमेंट और बाउंड्री वॉल बनाया है, तो वो बाउंड्री वॉल भी बेसिकली क्यों है कि हम उस ट्री को सेव करें, प्रोटेक्ट करें, इसलिए क्योंकि हम उसको एस्थेटिकली कहीं ना कहीं गॉड का एक रूप मान रहे हैं. तो इस तरह की जो भी हमारी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, सिंगल ट्री गार्ड, a fencing, cement boundary wall, all examples relates the sacred groves. So all these the methods like wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, sacred groves, tiger reserves and biosphere reserves, all are relates with the natural type of conservation as per their habitats, as per their house, or we can say on site. उनकी जगह पर ही हमने उनको conservation दिया है. That means they are relates with the in situ conservation. But when we talk about the ex situ conservation basically it relates, we can just conserve or protect the biodiversity outside their habitat. कहीं और ले जाकर हम उनको easily conserve कर सकते हैं. अब तो हमारे पास ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी है कि हम पूरे ट्री को शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं with their roots और कहीं और शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं. Similarly, we have lot of examples like gene banks, seed banks, pollen banks, spore banks, then botanical gardens, zoological gardens. So all these examples basically relates with the ex situ conservation. So in situ and ex situ conservation are the best example for conservation of biodiversity. But still, when we aware about the values and the conservation of biodiversity, we cannot be preserve or conserve the biodiversity. So just move a step forward and just try to save our biodiversity, not only for plants, only our animals also. Thank you.